And people ask me what my secret is. Money. People don't want to hear that. People want to hear lies and fantasies and fallacies. Greetings and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Closet Confessions. I'm just in my closet doing my makeup using some premium cotton rounds. You know, I just made it through my first week as an empty nester. My face is clean, but I went to the gym, so I just want to make sure that like any residue, especially sometimes I get some residue around my like mascara from the day before. But I just want to chit chat with y'all. I hope your day is going well. I hope you're enjoying yourself, and I just want to talk to y'all about what it's like to be an empty nester. I know that nobody can relate to this, literally nobody. Like some people, but most people my age are not empty nesters. Like, I don't actually know anyone that's 40 and under that's an empty nester. If y'all know somebody, I don't actually know anybody. I know some people like my cousins who've had children young like me, but a lot of times they had more kids, they had multiples, and so because of that, they still have kids in the house, you know? So we're just gonna chit chat while I do my makeup. This actually turned out to be way dirtier than I thought, but okay. I'm a little concerned. I should have double washed, double cleansed. Also, some folks ask me questions about my pajamas. These are Olivia Von Hill. I've been wearing Olivia Von Hill pajamas for years. I have so many. Some people complain about the price. You can get them when they go on sale at Bergdorf or Net-a-Porter. But I love these pajamas. I just got the new Clarins Double Serum, and I'm super excited about this. I wonder what I should go in first with. Should I go in with the Shiseido eye cream? No. You know what? I'm going to use the Clarins Double Serum, and I'm going to use the Lancome eye cream because I'm excited about the Lancome eye cream. Wait a minute. Oh. Okay. This stuff is so good. It's like, y'all know I use like 50 serums. I love this Clarins. It's like so good. I will say, one of the things that I've really been doing for myself these past couple of years has been just like investing in skincare and hobbies in myself. I mean, I've always been like the kind of mom that wanted to do multiple things, and so I was never the kind of mom that just only focused on my daughter. So my daughter was never my world, so I don't feel like caught up in the, of course I got to go in twice. I don't feel caught up in that culture of like, I don't know what to do, I'm lost. But I am definitely sad. And most of it is social because most of my friends are not in this phase in their life. And so, you know, in a lot of ways, I was like the friend that you could talk to about what to expect because all of their kids are like 5 and under, or like one of my friends, I'm going to her baby shower in September. She's like, you know, due in October with her first child. One of my other friends is also pregnant. Another one of my girlfriends gave birth to twins. Literally the weekend that Kennedy graduated high school. And I'm just like so excited for them because they always want to be moms. Like one of my girlfriends, this is not her first child, but everyone's kid is like 5 and under. Everyone's kid is 5 and under. And I obviously knew that having a kid like very early. You realize that like socially you'll be out of step with your peers. I still obviously have a lot of things in common with my friends. I feel like technology has made it so much better. Like we FaceTime, we get to text all day. I feel very much like in community with them. But I think the physical aspect is what's probably the most draining. Let me use this eye cream. I'm like, should I use it on my finger or let's see. You know, she's an eye cream girl. I use all the eye creams. Oh my goodness, I am obsessed. I will link some of my favorites below. This is a new Lancome eye cream that I use, but I love Lancome products. I use them all the time. I also, in full disclosure, I did a campaign with Lancome on like one of their creams and stuff. So I use Lancome all the time. But I love it because I have like natural hyperpigmentation underneath my eyes, which is great for like my brown eyeshadow, but you know, it's not good for my concealer. I like it at the hyperpigmentation over the top. I don't really appreciate it at the bottom. I'm sorry, guys. I had to go get my smoothie from downstairs from Juice Generation. This smoothie is so good. I get the protein, I think it's called the protein knockout. No banana. Once you put a banana in a smoothie, it is a banana smoothie. That's the ink, guys. And I also use a little almond milk. Okay, so let's just keep going and chatting about it. I need a little bit of sunscreen. My Shiseido sunscreen is in my travel bag. So I'm just going to use, it's a semi-dupe. If you can find it, it's Beauty of Joseon. It's like mildly less expensive than the Shiseido. But I don't know if you can see, it's like a slight white cast. So that's the only thing. I mean, the Shiseido to me is one of a kind. It is no cast. There is no cast whatsoever. Okay, so here's the thing. I think my biggest issue is I knew I was going to be young with my daughter leaving. I didn't expect it. But let's talk about my motherhood journey. First and foremost, I had my daughter while I was technically still a college student. Most people know that, but like some people still don't. It's just not registering. But I met my husband in college. We were married. I guess it's considered a shotgun wedding, but we got engaged. I didn't know I was pregnant. So I was married while I was pregnant. But I didn't realize I was pregnant. Anyway, having a baby in this day and age is the ghetto. I'm just going to come out and say it. I think in a lot of ways it can be Russian roulette. Let me just speak from my experience, because somebody's going to be like, well, I am the best mama, and I'm good for you. Good for you, boo. But what made my motherhood journey so fun, exciting, wonderful, and just really awe-inspiring and just like jaw-droppingly fun in ways that I can't even really describe, and I would be a mother to this girl in this life and the next life many times over. I am absolutely so grateful and so happy. That's not a disclaimer, that's a fact. But I cannot say that without being honest. And the honest part is that I am the mother that I am because I had a partner who wanted to be a father. I had a partner who had the resources to be a father. And to be a father the way I needed him to be a father. I'm not interested in a broke man. Okay? I'm very honest with you girls about that. He was committed, he was interested, and he was lucky to not have fallen on hard times. Because sometimes people mean well and they just fall on hard times. Let me just button this for something very small slips out. But that, I would say that was probably number one. Embedded in that, 1A, if you will, one of the reasons why my motherhood journey was, I didn't fall on hard times in the motherhood journey, is also because, you know, society rears women to believe and socializes women who will become mothers, some of them become mothers, to just like throw their heart and soul and like forego their identity, their hobbies, in the sake of motherhood. Some women, they don't have good mothers. Their mothers weren't there for them because of poverty, because of drugs, because of other men, because so many things. And so they internalize that and they're like, okay, I'm going to be there for my kid. I'm going to be at every game. I'm going to be at every this and I'm going to be at every that. I think I was the opposite because my mother was there. My mother was available. My mother worked a lot. But I grew up in a home where my mother constantly told us that we were her world. And I was the type of kid where it was giving very much no thank you. I don't want to be your world. I love my mother. I'm so happy for everything she did for us. She, with the little amount of resources she had, with my father, they gave us one of the best experiences that you can have, I believe, given the poverty that we were in. I did not want to raise my kid in poverty. I did not want to raise my kid with a little amount of resources and with a mother who did not have hobbies and joy in life outside of my child. And so when I say that having my daughter was a risk for me, did I believe I could do it? Yes. I didn't understand. I didn't believe the timing was necessarily correct. I actively chose to move forward with having my daughter. I was happy, but I also statistically knew that having a daughter that early, in my early 20s, like, was insane, right? Like, I gave birth to my daughter in August, and like 3 months later, I was in graduate school. 3 weeks later, I was in graduate school. And my friends were still in college. Okay, so I believed I could do it, but statistically, I couldn't. So I wouldn't recommend having a daughter at 20. I wouldn't recommend having a daughter at 21, 22, 23. I wouldn't recommend that. Not based on my own experience. My experience worked out, but statistically, it doesn't work out. You get what I mean? Let me put my eyebrows on, y'all, because I just be talking, honey. I ain't put a brow on. Let me put a little Laura Mercier. Okay? We love Laura Mercier. I don't care what anybody says. Some people love Huda powder. I like Huda too, but I am a classic Laura Mercier translucent powder is going to do it for me every time. I have started using the Hourglass, so I want to add some of that as just like a primer for the face. But I just prime my eyebrows because I don't like a shiny brow. Like, I'm not a shiny brow type of girl. And let me just block out these brow or this under eye while I'm at it. I use a bit of the Juvia's Place liquid blush in the shade Perky Poppy. Okay. And I'll just spread that around to cancel out some of the darkness underneath my eye. Okay, just cancel out some of the darkness. Darkness, go away. Yes. Come on now. There's something fun about a girl who can't sing that sings all the time. Absolutely. I'm just using the NYX brow pencil in the shade Espresso. Y'all, I am not a makeup expert. Let me just finish this brow up. Child, real quick. Just a light little brow situation. It's not going to be perfect. Okay, it's just a cute little situation. Don't zoom in. Okay, that's what it's giving. It's giving don't zoom in. And then I'm just going to go and like line underneath the brow with a little concealer from NARS. This is in the shade Amande. I love this shade. It's the color of the inner part of my face, not the outer part of my face. Y'all know we have just 67 shades on our skin. So I like to match. I need to clean up these brows, but I'm not. Okay, I'm like, y'all said y'all liked the last one, so I'm like, you know what? She's a real girl, so she wants to be real. And so I just want to share. But I think it's important to give you the background on my motherhood journey. So I was married to a person who wanted to be married. And who was committed to the idea of being married and also committed to undoing a bunch of misogyny. And we talked about this in like our video where we talked about like our relationship and our life. Like, for me, it was so important for if I was going to be stuck in the house with a man, I don't care how in love and like and lust I am. You need to be committed to undoing everything that society taught and told you. I'm sorry. Like, you are not the king. I am not your helper. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, my job isn't to cook and clean. And, you know, your job is to then just provide, and then you can come in this house and sling me around and do all kind of stuff. Absolutely not. I am an ambitious, strong, opinionated, interesting, hobbied woman. And that's who I intend to be. I did not see that in real life. I saw that at times on television. I saw that for Claire Huxtable. But I didn't really see that in real life. I saw women sacrificing for their kids, for their husbands, and really taking a lot of pride in that sacrifice. I was like, that's a scam. That's how I set up. And I knew even that young that was not for me. And so I was like, I am willing to try it out. But if it smells wrong, I have to cut it off. I can't move forward. And I mean him, not the child. Obviously, the child is here. So I knew. I was like, 1, 1, 1, 1. So that's like you need to understand like who I am as a person in order for you to understand my motherhood journey. Because people, especially the younger girls, they often ask me, because this is kind of innovative for my generation. They're like, how are you able to do that? Because like, I didn't talk about it because there was a bit of societal shame around that. Like, not being a primary parent, not leaving every time your child was sick. You know, like there was some societal shame around that. The idea was like women sacrifice. And so for me, I wanted to enjoy motherhood. I would say second to my husband being a really upstanding father, which a lot of women cannot control. So a lot of women feel a lot of guilt around that because they're like, well, I thought he was the one and I thought he was this and I didn't realize he was going to be an F-boy. I'm going to say something that is horrible for me to say. But a lot of men do not deserve the children that we can give birth to. They don't deserve that level of sacrifice. They don't. They don't. If you come to a woman humbly, saying and understanding that you have a lot of work to do, but saying that you want a legacy and a seed, go get a dog or a tree. What are you doing over here? Like, we just have to, I just think as a society, we have to take our power back. And for me, it wasn't even about taking my power back, if I'm being honest. I was just traumatized by growing up in a community where so many of the men that women were bragging about were trash cans. Even all the like so-called daddy's girls, their daddies was trash. They were like, I'm a daddy's girl. And the bar was so low. The bar was low. Do you hear me? They daddy bought them Jordans. And so that was the tea, Miss Thing. In the hood, that was the tea. The daddy was there, was present. That was like everything. And I'm talking to you as a person whose father was very much present in my life and did all that he could. And so much of who I am is because my parents instilled in me that I deserved better in life. Like, they weren't pressuring me to have a kid. They weren't pressuring me to get married. My parents were like, go to school, do well, get a career, travel the world, do all these things. So yes, they were poor. Yes, I was raised in the depths of the hood, the depths. My God, the depths. And they had the wherewithal to teach me that. And so I held on to that very strongly. I didn't believe in Cinderella and Rose. I didn't have rose-colored glasses. I didn't necessarily believe in soulmates. I didn't think that if I just have faith, God will deliver for me at the end of my rainbow a husband that was over 6 feet with a great job, who was black and had and didn't have any kids by the time I was ready. I didn't believe that. I don't think there's anything wrong with believing in that. I just didn't believe that. My mind wasn't on a man. But I had a kid. I moved forward with my life. And in the beginning, I would say in the very beginning, it was challenging because I was away from my family. My family was not there. I was in Michigan. Again, I was at grad school, and my family wasn't there. They came a couple of weeks. But again, a lot of people will tell you the key to being a great quality parent is having a community. My husband's family, they were there as much as they could, but not as much as I think they should have been, if I'm being honest. Not that they don't owe me anything, but you know what I mean? Like, there were times where I wish they helped me out a little bit more, but I don't hold any, like, grudge or anything. You know what I mean? I think they did the best they could, and I wasn't also going around asking for help. And so I think we had a lot of sleepless nights. We were struggling. I was questioning whether this was the right thing to do. Then I joined the Obama campaign, right? Like, all these things were happening. But I will say about 2 and 3, probably when we moved to Washington, D.C., when I started working for the Obama administration, things started getting so much better because Mr. B, I think I told y'all this, but when I met him in college, he was already doing quote unquote well, right? He was already making 6 figures. This was 20 years ago as a college student working in tech. And so he was already doing well. He had stability. He had a cool temperament. He was generous. He was kind, right? Like, he was all these great things. I was still figuring myself out because I was so resistant to this culture of marriage. Everybody that I knew that was with a man was in a state of la la land. They were the Lulu. They were cuckoo. They were telling people one thing, but behind closed doors, it was mayhem. And so because of that, unfortunately, I spent like 5 or 6 years in my marriage waiting for the shoe to drop. I was waiting for the shoe to drop. I thought, at some point, something's going to go wrong, right? But when I started working for President Obama, and this is Rare Beauty and Juvia's Place. I'll link all this stuff below. I didn't blend the concealer out yet. Rare Beauty. When I started working for the Obama campaign, or when I started working for President Obama, I realized, like, here I was, 25 years old, with a toddler, working for President Obama in D.C. with a 3-story house in the suburbs, a 401k. I was paying my student loans. We had 2 luxury cars, had a husband, a kid, all these things that people said was the dream. I had this at 25 years old. That was not a part of my dream, my manifestation. I didn't pray for that. That's just really what happened to me. But I had to make a lot of sacrifices. I was telling these people, you know, I wanted career opportunities. I wanted to move up in the corporate ladder, or, you know, the government. But when I would tell some people that I had a kid, they would look at me crazy. They thought I was a teen mom. They thought I was irresponsible. They thought, you know, the look on their face, or they would say, they thought they were being nice to me, but they would be like, oh, do you need time off to go take care of your kid? But then they would give the opportunities to someone else. And so I actually saw motherhood as a young woman as a burden. Even the women, honestly, if I'm being honest, the women were the most cruel. They were the most cruel. The women in their 30s who, like, you know, their vision of high quality motherhood was like, oh, you have a kid when you are in your 30s and you have an established career and you do all these things. And people always ask me if that was said. Yeah, I mean, at my HBCU, people would say that. But when I worked in the federal government, nobody said it, but it was often implied. And the girls my age were so nasty. Baby, they were so nasty, vicious, and mean about the situation. And so I really didn't have time for that. So I just basically was like, you know what? I said to my husband, when my daughter is sick, I'm not going to go pick her up. When my daughter needs someone to pick her up early from, you know, daycare or pre-K or after school, I'm not going to be there. Like, I need you to lean in, and I need you to really support me while I pursue my dreams and try my best to also, like, climb the career ladder. But I can't publicly be a mother because it's not socially acceptable. And that's what I did. And while I know y'all are like, oh, that's sad, it's honestly, If a woman was doing, I would tell her to do that now. You can't find any pictures of Kennedy on the internet before she was 6 years old that I haven't shared as throwbacks. In real time, none. They didn't exist. On Facebook, Instagram, they didn't exist because I didn't have them. I think the first pictures I shared of Kennedy was when we moved to New York. But I was traveling with my daughter. I made sure we took her everywhere. I put her in ballet. She danced with Alvin Ailey. We put her in gymnastics. We made sure she went to the finest schools. She literally went to the best elementary school in all of New York City. It was when she went. It still is now. Middle school, we got her into a great middle school, a rigorous high school. Like, I was like, I am going to raise an incredible kid with all of the resources that I have. And I'm going to be a mother that has ideas, that stays in contact with her friends. I made sure I had brunch with my girlfriends. I made sure I did all these things. And I wanted my daughter to see me. When I became the head of community organizing at an organization when I was in New York City, I brought my daughter to work. She got to see us register people to vote. She went to protests with me, rallies. Like, I was always an engaged mother, but I wanted her to see me working and seeing me with my friends and seeing me traveling, going with me to travel. I wanted her to have a well-rounded life. I truly, truly did. And I wasn't going to spend my free time at Disney. Nobody was going to convince me. My sister kind of got mad at me because for my niece's birthday, she wanted to go to, like, I forgot what it's called, the M&M place or something. It's in the Midwest. And I only had so many PTO days. I'm not about to spend my PTO at no damn Disney. Why would I do that when I can go to Paris? And I know somebody's going to be like, well, you can go to Disney Paris. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to go shopping and I want to go to the spa and I want to go to the museum. And so that's what I did. And I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know if it was going to work. I didn't honestly know if it was going to work, right? I had to put a lot of faith in my husband. I had to believe that I could pick up the pieces if something happened with he and I. It was just a lot. Listen, I was like, I have the money. I have the resources. My daughter is going to travel all around the world. That's what we're going to do. And this is who I want her to be. This is what I want her to be interested in. Like, I thought about the child that I wanted and I was like, this is the kind of child that I'm going to create. I couldn't control her temperament. I couldn't control how she received things. But like, that's basically what I did. And people ask me what my secret is. Money. People don't want to hear that. People want to hear lies and fantasies and fallacies. You have to have the coins. Stop letting people tell you that, oh, if you have the resources, if you just have the community. Here's the thing. You can recreate a community if you have resources. You can hire a nanny. You can hire babysitters. You can build relationships with people in your new city, in your new country, in your new town. If you don't have parents or you're not close with your family members. I'm not saying it's the same, but I'm saying with money, you can do that. When you don't have money, you can't create any of these resources. Yeah, you can still have a great child. My parents didn't have money and resources. They sparked the love of travel in me. They couldn't take me traveling. I would have wanted and preferred if they took me traveling. They just didn't have the resources, right? And so you have to create that. But this is the part that leads me to what I miss. I miss watching a person become a person. And I know I still get to watch my daughter become Kennedy. I get to watch her be her full self. I get to see that, right? I do. But it's not as up close. It's not as intimate. I don't get to watch it every day. And I think that is the part that makes me sad the most is like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get to see that aspect of it. And I just miss, as crazy as it sounds, I miss that being my mission in life. That was my mission in life, was to do it all and be it all. And now I feel like a piece of the all is missing, right? And I don't know what to replace it with. And I know it can't be replaced. It just graduated. It is now taking on a new form. Now I am no longer like the number one advisor in her life, right? I always taught my child, because it was important. If I was not going to be the primary parent and my husband was going to be the primary parent, I needed my daughter to always maintain a great relationship with me. I used to tell her all the time, you can tell me anything, even if it hurts daddy's feelings. Even if you think me and daddy won't be together. Tell me whatever. Like, I used to just close the door and do my makeup and let her sit on the floor, because she's an introverted child, and let her warm up to tell me whatever she needed to tell me, because it was so important. I'm busy doing this and busy doing that. I needed to make sure she understood that the world, my world, could completely end and stop for her. All of this comes to a screeching halt. She can call me in any meeting. I've been a boss most of my life, so I haven't had to like negotiate with others. But like, I always needed her to know that she can stop my day at any time. And that's why I went to Atlanta for as long as I did, so that she knew that she can call me at any time. I was available. Mommy, go get me Lululemon. Mommy, go get me this. And I just love that about our relationship. It's like, I want her to know I am available to you. My fear is now is like, I'm available, but no one's calling, you know? That's my biggest fear right now. I'm just going to use this Lancome mascara. And I know some of it is just like, you know, you don't know what you don't know. I'm trying to allow myself to feel the fear and move on. Just like, feel the fear and move on, you know? You're in a waiting period. That's what I feel like God is telling me. You're in a waiting period. This is what you wanted. You've done a good job. Enjoy, you know, but just like, don't try to figure it out. Just sit here. That's what I'm trying to tell myself. I'm going to end this look with just some chestnut lip liner. It's just a little neutral face. And my MAC lip gloss in the clear. And that's it. That's my Closet Chronicles for today. If y'all have advice for me on this new phase of my life, please let me know. Please comment, please subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you love these Closet Chronicles. And let me know what you want me to talk about next. I appreciate you all. I will see you in the next video. Bye.